Hi! I'm Wolfie. You haven't subscribed yet? But, why? Okay, listen to the next story. Chapter 4, In Search of Flour. The next morning, Steve woke up early, even before the sun began to rise over the island. His wheat field was ready for harvesting, with the golden ears swaying in the wind promising a good yield. Steve's workdays were becoming more organized. First, he harvested the wheat using the tool he made. The harvest was generous, and he stored it in his little barn made of logs and covered with leaves to keep it away from the moisture. Now a new task lay before Steve, to turn wheat grains into flour. For this, he needed a mill. The idea of constructing a mill out of stones that could be found on the island seemed daunting. But Steve was full of resolve and not afraid of difficulties. First, he began looking for large flat stones. With difficulty, he dragged several stones to his shelter. He made primitive levers and pulleys using lianas and strong branches to move the stones from their places and stack them on top of each other. It was hard work, but after several days of hard labor, Steve had a crude mill. He then used his axe to carve a small groove into the top stone to pour in the wheat grains. He used another stone, which he had polished smooth, as a hand millstone to grind the grains into flour. The first attempt was a success. Steve looked at the pile of coarse flour he obtained from his wheat grains and couldn't help but smile. Now he had the ability to bake bread, another step towards making his life on the island more comfortable. However, turning flour into bread was not as simple a task as Steve had thought. Using water from the stream, he kneaded dough and tried to bake bread by placing it on hot stones near the fire. While this worked to some extent, the bread was too hard and unevenly cooked, making it not the most palatable food. Steve decided that he needed an oven to bake bread. He knew that he would need clay to make an oven, and luckily, there was plenty of clay on the island. Steve set to work, carefully shaping bricks out of clay and drying them in the sun. Soon he had enough bricks to build an oven. He carefully arranged them around an already burning fire, creating a hollow cylinder. He left a small door at the bottom of the oven so he could add wood, and a hole at the top for smoke to escape. Building the oven took several days, and Steve couldn't wait to bake his first bread. When the oven was ready, he kneaded a new batch of dough and carefully placed it in the oven. The air quickly filled with the aroma of baking bread, and Steve felt his head spin with delight. When he took the bread out of the oven, it was golden, crispy, and perfectly cooked. This was not just bread, it was a manifestation of his hard work and inventiveness. This moment was a turning point in Steve's life on the island. This was not just bread, it was a symbol of his independence and ability to thrive in the most difficult conditions. For more stories, subscribe to my channel. Subscribed? You are the best!